Hey, on my ready. So on Thursday afternoon, a police chase between a semi-truck and police finally ended near Beaver, Utah. So the police chase originally started around 3:30 in the afternoon, when police had started to receive 911 calls about a semi-truck who was driving recklessly on Interstate 70 around mile marker 67. Police also received a phone call from a man who police now believe was the truck driver, who said that he was traveling on Interstate 70 and he said that he was wanting to die. He also rambled on that it never worked out and that he would never hurt anyone. Now, police said that during this 911 call, he wasn't making a lot of sense and it was pretty irrational talk. Now, police say less than 30 minutes later, they wound up receiving another phone call. This one was from a FedEx truck driver who was driving westbound, when he said that the truck driver, who was in a white semi-truck, had been harassing him on the interstate. He said that the truck had nearly crashed into his own semi-truck on several occasions and had also tried cutting him off and also pushing him off of the interstate onto the shoulder of the road. Next, a few minutes later, a USPS driver wound up calling 911, also reporting that the same white semi-truck that the other drivers had reported was supposedly pursuing this semi-truck as well and also harassing this particular semi-truck as well. Now, police finally did wind up locating the semi-truck just a few minutes after they received all these 911 calls. So when police were finally able to locate the semi-truck, they tried to do an initial traffic stop on him, but unfortunately he refused to pull over. So the chase wound up going on for a few more minutes. They were on westbound I-70. The driver was refusing to pull over and was still driving erratically and recklessly, according to police. Police then were forced to use spike strips, or also known as stop sticks, on the semi-truck. Now, police say that they deployed three stop sticks and that the semi-truck ran over all three of them and still continued on. Now, they say that the semi-truck went on for a few more minutes later. At this point, he had no tires left. He was driving on his rims, and there was a plume of smoke coming out from underneath his semi-truck because he'd lost 3 tires. So after a few more minutes of him driving on rims and having all these sparks and the plume of smoke behind him, he finally wound up pulling over. But here's the thing. He pulled over on the side of the road, and police were trying to negotiate with him for him to come out of the truck and surrender. Police say that it took him a few minutes because he kept hesitating. He did not want to get out of the truck. And the only reason he got out of the truck was because once the truck had stopped, it became fully engulfed with flames at this point. So now it's gone from just smoke to now flames. And the semi-truck driver wound up staying inside the semi-truck until he could not take the heat and smoke any longer. And that's when he finally gave up and came out of the semi-truck. And police were able to arrest him at that point with no further incident. So police say that the truck driver was 42-year-old Sonny Garrett. Police say that during the police pursuit, that Garrett himself had actually called 911 dispatch on 2 times. The first time they didn't know that he was the driver, but they suspected that he was the driver, and that's when he was saying that he was going to die and that he didn't want to hurt anybody. The next time that he called and was telling the dispatch that he wanted the police officer who was behind him to get on the phone because he wanted to talk to him. And of course, the dispatch tried to explain to him that that was not possible. And then he tried to explain to the dispatch that he was not going to be following any of the instructions that the police gave him because, according to him, he didn't like to follow direction. Now, police say when they finally were able to arrest him and kind of talk to him on the side of the road as emergency personnel are dealing with his semi-truck that is now fully engulfed in flames, they say that Mr. Garrett was very jumpy and irrational and just not making a lot of sense. They said that the weather outside was 32 degrees out, yet Mr. Garrett was sweating profusely. They said that he was having a hard time forming sentences and that you could just tell that he was definitely under the influence of something. Police say at this point they will go ahead and put Mr. Garrett inside of their patrol unit to try to keep him safe and to keep him inside the patrol unit until they take him to the jail to officially book him. Now, while inside the patrol unit, for whatever reason, Mr. Garrett starts to scream irrationally and starts to lick the inside of the patrol unit's windows. Now, police say that when they finally got to the jail, that he was having a hard time walking, and so he needed to have assistance by other police officers to help walk him inside of the jail. He was having a hard time sitting, and he was extremely thirsty and had a very poor lack of coordination. Now, they wound up booking Garrett on 3 charges. The charges were 3 charges of failure to stop at the command of law enforcement, driving under the influence, and refusal of a chemical test, and